to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Friday, June 11th, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. In the entire history of the Mr. Olympia, an athlete has never lost their title one year and then turned around to win it back in the following year. And that's a lot of years, and that's a lot of history. And I don't think any of it matters to Brandon Curry right now. A few days ago, I saw a video of Brandon in the gym, and I honestly thought it was probably the best I'd seen him look 17 weeks out from a show. Whatever he did in the offseason worked, because he looks like he's coming in recharged and ready to go. And if we can get a 2019 Brandon Curry conditioning with a few of the 2021 improvements sprinkled in, it might be the perfect recipe to make history happen. I would say for the most part, it's been a quiet year in classic physique so far. But I will say this, some of the performances we've seen have been great, including what we saw from Divine Wilson when he won the Pittsburgh Pro a few months back. Since that win in Pittsburgh, Divine's been pouring all of his energy into bringing up his weaknesses so he can show up to the Olympia weekend ready to be a top 5 contender. If you take Chris, Terrence, and Breon out of the equation, it does feel like there's some wiggle room there in the slots of 4 and 5. So if Divine does come in with a better look than he had in Pittsburgh, I think that's good enough to at least force the judges to take a fair look at him. I don't know if it's just me, but for whatever reason, it seems like there's been a lot of injuries this year. I know there are injuries every year, but this year it feels like it's been over the top. And now it looks like the injury bug finally got around to taking a bite out of Santi Aragon. A few weeks ago, Santi suffered a groin injury playing ice hockey, and it apparently was severe enough that it prevented him from doing any sort of training up until a few days ago. From what I understand, this isn't something that requires surgery, so he should be fine with everything healing naturally. But it's still a tough injury to have at this point in the season. So hopefully he'll be able to rebound in time so he can still hit a few shows in the late summer or early fall while he still can grab an Olympia qualification. And finally, I wanted to close out the week with a segment that I thought was pretty cool, especially if you're a UFC fan. Recently there's been a video floating around of Stan Efferding training with John Jones. And for those of you don't know, John Jones is widely regarded as the best mixed martial artist fighter of all time. Stan's been working with John for the last few weeks as his strength and conditioning coach to help John get ready for his next fight, which I believe will be as a heavyweight if I'm not mistaken. To be completely honest, I have no idea whether it's a short-term thing or if John is planning to keep Stan on board for his entire fight camp. But I will say this, there are a lot of parallels between boxing and MMA. So if John wins that next fight as a heavyweight, I can absolutely see more MMA fighters starting to work with coaches like Stan or myself to help dial in their diets for some of these big fights. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.